Kommt, oder? Hast du?
Germany!
Ja.
The game officials for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Das Schiedsrichtergespann wurde vom Internationalen Eishockey-Weltverband lizenziert und für dieses Spiel bestimmt. Die Hauptschiedsrichter dieses Spiels, the referees of the game, Jan Riegel und Daniel Stricker. The linesman, Gideon Winter, Johnson Ritter und Zachary Sonovi. Und jetzt einen Riesenapplaus für Team Deutschland! Hier kommen die Starting Six und wir beginnen mit Team Deutschland. Im Goal, im Tor Nummer 30, die Nummer 30, Philipp Huber. On defense in der Verteidigung, Nummer 24, die 24, Dennis Seidelmann. Nummer 91, die 91, Moritz Müller. Im Sturm, Forwards, Nummer 29, in der 29, Leon Kaiser. Nummer 37, die 37. Patrick, number 42, die 42, Yassin Ellis. And here the starting six of Team Canada, the starting six Canadas. In goal, the Tor number 31, the 91, Kevin Picard.
Marco Sturm and Team Germany entered in a remarkable comeback, a last-second tying goal and a shootout win to qualify for the quarterfinals against Team Canada here in Cologne on this Thursday night. Germany has lost 7 in a row to Canada since a tie in 2001. Germany's only win against Canada came in the 1996 World Championship. Calvin Pickard gets the start for Canada. The first time that Canada has started the same goaltender in back-to-back games. It will be Philipp Grubauer, who joined the Germans after Washington was knocked out. Thomas Greiss has been shaken up in the tournament, but he is dressed as the backup tonight. New York Islander goaltender began the tournament as Germany's #1 netminder. Winner goes to the semifinal on Saturday to take on Russia.
Sean Couturier lined up against Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl will have
as he does in the NHL, but we'll have even more scrutiny here tonight.
Parayko shoots, and the save is made by Grubauer.
Parayko has been an instant offense to Team Canada. He joined the team. He's got 3 power play goals in the 2 games that he played. His last game, he scored a power play goal 167 kilometers an hour when he just pounded it by Harry Satari in the Finnish net.
Draisaitl for the face-off against Claude Giroux, and Draisaitl arrived from Edmonton. The front page of one Cologne newspaper said, "The boss is here." A huge figure in his hometown as Giroux picks it up now. Claude Giroux. Back at the point for Marc-Edouard Vlasic. Parayko a blast. It goes off the stick. Yassin Elise. Elise immediately checks his stick. Parayko swings it across to Vlasic. Tried to poke that ahead. Draisaitl has it back. Draisaitl is pocket picked by Simmons. Simmons took a whack at that, but it's slipped away by the veteran Dennis Seidenberg. Back at the point, Vlasic a shot, and Grubauer sweeps that away. Patrick Reimer picks it up and plays it back down to the Canadian line. Parayko moves in. Canada with a record of 6 wins, 1 overtime loss to Switzerland. Germans open with the toughest part of their schedule. United States, Sweden, and Russia got 1 win against the U.S. and then won 3 of their last 4.
That win against the U.S. was on the back of a brilliant performance from Thomas Greiss. As much as we talk about the emotion of playing at home in a more than partisan building, a raucous crowd here, is Marco Sturm's team has to run the nerves out a little bit here too. For Canada, they're veteran players, they've been in a big spot before, and while this is different, the Germans have to control the puck a little bit, make a few passes so they can relax and get into the game.
Scheifele for the face-off now against Marcus King. And King wins it. Christian Ehrhoff banks it around, the German captain, playing in the World Championship for the 7th time. What are you doing in 2028, Ray? I don't know. That's when Christian Ehrhoff gets his last check from the Buffalo Sabres. Now a jam play side of the goal. That puck was stolen by Skinner.
It's good work if you can get it.
Or good non-work if you get it. Now played by Pickard. Yannick Seidenberg, a sharp angle shot. And the younger brother of Dennis Seidenberg is turned away by Pickard.
15 years in the German Elite League for Yannick Seidenberg. He had 12 goals again this year. A pretty pesky player. He's been a long-time member of the World Championship teams here for Germany.
And that group you just saw standing and clapping, playing, or standing behind the net to our left at this end of the ice, that's standing room seating right behind the net.
Always the net at the one end where Germany is shooting a couple of times.
Appelshauser with a shot that's knocked away by Pickard. Now scooped up, another sharp angle drive, stopped by Pickard. As Matthias Plach had a couple of chances. And the net became dislodged.
Twice Germany's tried to fire to the short side on Pickard. One was the previous one by Seidenberg, this one by Plachta as he tries to get it. You see that little hole up in the top of the net. Pickard rises up to make the stop with his shoulder.
Couturier for the face-off against Yassin Elise of Germany. Germany's 11th straight year in the top group of the World Championship. Marco Sturm is also the general manager of their junior team. Now a bad bounce off the end glass, almost a tap in there for Matt Duchene. At the point, Josh Morrissey, a shot kicked away by Grubauer. Couturier spins and shoots. Now picked up and brought ahead by Frank Hordler. Hordler looks for Garrett Fauser. He's tied up there along the boards by Morrissey. Loose in the corner is Morrissey. Pokes out ahead for Duchene. Matt Duchene got his first goal in the tournament in Canada's preliminary round closeout against the Finns. That was his first point, in fact.
After having an excellent tournament last year, back-to-back gold medals, and Duchene has had a real tough slog of it here in 2017.
Matt Duchene and Ryan O'Reilly, the two players who can win 3 consecutive gold medals with Canada. And there is Felix Schutzman, the shootout hero for the Germans in their win over Latvia. Lead pass for Frederick Tiffels. It was Tiffels who scored the shootout winner, rather. It was Schutz who scored the tying goal with 33 seconds left in regulation to tie the game up. Latvia was called for delay of game, freezing the puck. As O'Reilly moves in, shoots at the sharp angle. Grubauer makes the stop. Simmons tries to dig it free and shoots it into him. He had Vlasic a long shot. That's blocked, paid across. O'Reilly. Oh, what a save by Grubauer! Comes across on O'Reilly and takes it away.
Outstanding work behind the net by Canada to create this chance. And Ryan O'Reilly, who's been Canada's best forward the whole tournament, has got four goals. He's this close to the fifth as he takes the pass from Wayne Simmons. This hits the goal post before Grubauer is able to control it. So Germany catches a break, and the game remains scoreless.
Canada scored first in every game so far in the tournament. Shifley steps in. Off the draw, backhand shot by Skinner. Hit the side of the net. Now Skinner back with it. Around for Shifley. Feeds it back to Parayko. His shot was partly blocked by Aliyev. And Draisaitl plays a break wide for Dennis Royal, the hulking German defenseman, 6'4", 245 pounds. Looks like he was photoshopped into the game. Now Reimer feeds that down in the corner.
I would not want to run into that in the corner. That is an enormous man.
Nick Backstrom has scored for Sweden, a 1-0 lead on the Swiss early in Paris. Parayko with a dive, and Grubauer makes the save.
A lot of times when you have an upstart team, there's so many variables to whether the team can be good on this particular night. Well, one thing Germany has is Philipp Grubauer. Grubauer had an excellent season for the Washington Capitals. A 205 goals against average, a 926 save percentage. He's capable of stealing a game or holding a game close for a long period of time. And Germany has to hope that he's able to do that.
He was a Memorial Cup winner with the Windsor Spitfires in 2010. Fourth round pick of the Capitals that year. Face off one back to the Demers, and this is the line of Point, Konechny, and Marner for Canada. The only line that stayed together since game one. Konechny falls in the corner. Backhand of the line, but not out as Point. Bumped into the German bench, and then Hager comes over to have a word with Braden Point.
Hager's a little bit of a chippy player, really aggressive. This play is dead, and he runs into Point anyway.
Hager plays here in Cologne.
Yeah, 14 goals this year for Hager. He had a 2 and 10-minute misconduct penalty for a hit to the head earlier in the tournament. He's up on the edge a little bit. Well, I got to tell you, this one official, he is on it.
Daniel Stricker of Switzerland.
With the face-offs. He has broken up 3 face-offs himself here.
Demers swings it back for DeHaan. He bobbled it for a moment, picked off by Dominic Cahoon. In comes Cahoon, now drops it back at the point. Or it's Mueller's shot through the traffic, blocked by Couturier, now swept ahead. And Demers jumps into the rush for Canada. Jason Demers, centering pass, tipped on goal there by Killorn. Alex Seidenberg brings it around. And Pickard leaves it there for DeHaan. To Killorn, Alex Killorn, a lead pass for Duchesne. In comes Matt Duchesne with Sean Couturier. Duchesne sends it back in front. Couturier tipped that wide. Duchesne back on it. Flips it back. Morrissey a shot. That was tipped wide as well by Couturier. Royal bumped there by Duchesne. Morrissey plays it back in the corner for Duchesne. 5 gone here in the opening period. Killorn works it back in the corner. Killorn swings it back for Morrissey. Taken down there by Tiffels. And Tiffels outlets for Ehrhoff. In comes Ehrhoff. A little drop pass there. Moving in his shoots. Kicked away by Pickard. Feels like we played an hour already with the crowd generating so much noise. Drums, singing.
The drums are a sweet touch. I always love that playing in Europe.
David Wolf moves in now for Germany. Had it taken away by Marner. He's away with Point and Konechny. In comes Mitch Marner. Marner drops for Parayko. He bobbled the puck and a chance now for Germany, but they gave it right back. Konechny swings it back there for Point. Braden Point down to Konechny. Travis Konechny In for Vlasic, a long shot. That goes wide, comes out the other side, picked up by Lee. Passing to Lee. Bump there by Konechny, and Point taps it back for Parayko. And Parayko plays it around for Vlasic. Through the middle, Giroux picks it up. Bo Giroux. Fires that down in the German zone. Knocked free by Monroe. Centering pass for Giroux was interrupted by Patrick Reimer. And Dennis Seidberg sends out ahead for Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl chips it across, and a quick shot taken there by Moritz Mueller. And the save is made by Pickard. 13:27 to go in a scoreless first period here in Cologne.
Für alle diese Spiele gibt es noch Tickets an den Tageskassen der Lanxess Arena und auch online auf www.IIHF2017.com. Top events, semi-finals, bronze medal game and final are still to come for all those games. There's still tickets available at the arena box offices and on the official website of the World Championship. It's IIHF2017.com.
John Cooper behind the Canadian bench, the fourth-year coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning of the National Hockey League. Was an assistant coach for Team North America, the Young Guns in the 2016 World Cup. Was also an assistant coach for Team USA at the 2008 Ivan Halinka Summer Under-18 tournament. That's not an official IHF event. He did begin as an assistant coach for USA Hockey. Native of Prince George, BC. Those folks still live. Patrick Reimer. Spins and shoots, it goes off a stick, and now Simmons back on it. Wayne Simmons up to center ice for O'Reilly. And Ryan O'Reilly flips that high in the air, bounces wide of the German goal. In for it goes Giroux. Simmons works it free. Swings it rink wide for Parayko. Bolton Parayko now throws it down low. Then a Seidenberg bumped there by O'Reilly. And Simmons has it back. Feeds it back. Vlasic, a long shot, tipped right in front by Giroux, and Grubauer made the save. Simmons. Had it poke checked away there by Reimer. Pass for Parayko, Colton Parayko. Puts that down in the German zone. Here comes Scheifele for it. Royal played that away from him. And the puck skipped off the glass and out. According to the first official, Canada's arguing that it went straight out.
Claude Giroux gets all by himself in front of the German net. Seidenberg had chased the puck into one corner, and his partner had gone to the left corner. He's having a little quick word with Gerard Gallant, the first ever head coach for the Vegas Golden Knights. But Germany can't afford too many breakdowns like that, as Giroux, if he's able to get a handle on the puck, is going to have all kinds of time. He's by himself in front of the net.
Scheifele sends it back. That point shot goes wide off the stick of Mike Matheson. Now Chris Lee centers it. Scheifele, a backhand shot. That goes wide as well. Brooks Masek, native of Winnipeg. Now playing internationally for German, plays that down. And a centering shot there by Matthias Plachta, kicked away by Pickard. Gets by Royal at the German line, and Royal has to retreat as Jeff Skinner was bearing in on him. Bouncing puck at the line, McKinnon gets back onside as Scheifele brings it in. Mark Scheifele works it hard around at the line, held by DeHaan. In for Scheifele, back for DeHaan, a quick shot. That rattled high and wide. Now the clearing attempt knocked down by Demers, but it does go to center ice, and Couturier plays that puck.
That was really close, especially with the international standard of too many men on the ice.
Couturier in the corner for Duchesne. He battles for it, and Plachta gently plays it out to center ice. Couturier across for Killorn. Alex Killorn works it. He falls as Hordler got a stick on him. Abelshauser looking ahead for King. And DeHaan taken in hard by Marcus King. Parayko plays that off the glass and out, and the faceoff will be in the Canadian zone.
Marcus King got in aggressively on the forecheck on DeHaan. Sean Couturier is having a discussion with the linesman. We talked about how close Canada was to too many men on the ice. Couturier was run into at the German benches. They too were making a change. It was pretty close there. We've seen Penalties called a lot tighter than that on the too many men on the ice spot in the game.
Now Duchesne kicks in it for Couturier. And Sean Couturier for Shen. He was knocked down by Appelshauser. And Draisaitl has it back. Leon Draisaitl, 29 goals in the regular season for Edmonton. Scored 5 times in 7 games against Anaheim in the second round. Centering pass for Reimer. Drops it off for Elise. Elise's long shot tipped away by Duchesne. Appelshauser's shot picked off. And Parayko lifts it high in the air over Appelshauser and down the ice. That'll be an icing call against Canada.
The Draisaitl's not going to get any NHL help in this tournament. And this is a problem that the smaller countries have. When they have an injury, they don't have anybody to replace him on the same level. Canada lost Tyson Barrie, and they brought in Colt Parayko. The Germans lost Tobias Rieder early in the tournament. That's a huge loss for him, for their country in this tournament.
Moritz Mueller plays it around. Couturier got a stick on that. It bounces back in the corner. Seidenberg plays it down. Or Felix shoots. Duchesne. His pass, pinball around. Vlasic pokes at it. Goes that to an open wing, and Seidenberg knocks it down. Dennis Seidenberg signed by the Islanders out of the World Cup of Hockey. That shot taken by David Wolf was blocked. Lead pass by Shen just missed Vlasic, who was away. And now Mueller a shot. That goes off a stick into the corner. Parayko bump. And Matt Duchesne lays that down in the German zone. Past the midway point in the opening period. Still no score. Sweden with a 1-0 lead on Switzerland midway through the first period. Point. In the corner for Konechny. Travis Konechny pulls that free. Konechny with 7 assists in 7 games for Canada. Harder's got to go off. His helmet came off. And now Marner walks it and shoots. And Grubauer got an arm on that. Loose behind the goal is Point digging for it. Matheson plays it back for Morrissey. His long shot. Grubauer makes the save and hangs on as Konechny went digging for the loose puck.
When Hager lost his helmet and he has to leave the ice, that opens up some space for Canada to rejig and re-attack on the play. And Mitch Marner gets an excellent chance. Turned aside by Grubauer. There's Marco Sturm. 242 NHL goals in over 900 games. The top goal scorer ever from Germany. Got a real cool presence behind the bench. Leans a lot on Jeff Ward as his top assistant.
Face off one by Giroux, back for Demers. Across he goes for DeHaan. In the corner is Simmons, plays it back there for Giroux. Across he goes for Demers, walks in and fires. A bouncing puck went off a leg, and Giroux can't hold it. An offside call against Canada.
Giroux, a slow start to the season, an incredibly slow start for a player of his caliber. He ended up digging back to 58 points on the year.
He had hip surgery in the offseason. They got hurt in the World Cup training camp.
Takes a long time to get your legs back under you when you're battling at the start of the year.
Ehrhoff with it. Up for Yannick Seidenberg, chips that down. Icy waved off as DeHaan goes back. Up ahead for Skinner, that's broken up by Royal. Now, play called in the Canadian zone. Offside against the Germans.
Germany will be thrilled with this start to the game. They've not been overrun territorially. They haven't had a whole bunch of time in the Canada zone, but that I don't think they really expect to. But what you don't want to get is where you're back in your zone, running all around like your hair's on fire and you're just able to keep the puck out of the net. It's been much more solid than that. They did get the break when O'Reilly hit the goalpost about 5 minutes in.
In comes Nate McKinnon, shoots. Grubauer saved the rebound, swatted away by Ehrhoff. Gaetan Haas has scored for Switzerland. 1-1 tie with Sweden. Now a lead pass goes to Elise, works in. His centering pass was blocked there by Vlasic. Now the puck bounces in front. The shot taken by Reimer off the stick of Parayko and out of play.
And we saw enough of Switzerland on that other side to know that it's not going to be an easy out for the Swedes. The Swiss had some up and down crazy moments as well in that preliminary round, but they're a good team.
And their goaltender, Leonardo Giannoni, has the best save percentage in the tournament.
A good read by Parayko as he gets out to deflect this shot from Patrick Reimer up over into the netting. Patrick Reimer led the German league in scoring for the second straight year. 26 goals, 54 points this year.
Peru wins the face-off. Here's O'Reilly waiting for it. Ryan O'Reilly battles for it. And DeHaan plays it around for Demers. Jason Demers of the Florida Panthers out for Giroux. He falls. And Schutz got a stick on him. And now Wolf, a long lead pass for Schutz. He drops it off for Tiffels. Puts in and Parayko standing in front as Pickard makes the stop. No score here in the first period in Cologne.
Die Partie schwankt stehen, aktueller Zwischenstand im ersten Drittel 1:1. Your eyes are prepared to look at the current line in Paris. It's the game Switzerland versus Sweden. And as you see on the screen, it's the current score: Switzerland 1, Sweden 1.
Back here in Cologne, beautiful building. Home of the Kölner Halle Sharks, if you want to call them that, the German Elite League team. Munich won the German League for the second consecutive year. Germany's last medal in the World Championship, the silver, in 1953.
Had a fourth the last time this tournament was here. That's their best in a long, long time.
Last time they made the semifinals. And now the face-off won by Couturier. Demers throws it through the middle of the ice. And that pass found O'Reilly for a moment. Now O'Reilly in the corner with it. Ryan O'Reilly. Bumping there with Dennis Seidenberg. Gets it back for Duchesne. Snaps it across for DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan shoots. That goes just wide. Back at the point is Demers. Across the top, O'Reilly swings it back to DeHaan again. 4 Germans converged on him. It's loose in front and picked up by O'Reilly. O'Reilly's pass batted down by Plachta. He gets it right back. O'Reilly across for Couturier. Pass back for Demers. Missed him and goes back down to the Canadian zone.
I'm not so sure that's the way they want to defend. A little more communication, as you mentioned. 4 of them were heading towards the puck. It looked like a jailbreak on the other side. 3 Canadians heading towards the net. Germany lucky that the pass didn't connect.
Now break on his pocket picked by Draisaitl. And Marner gathers up his own pass. Up ahead for Point. Royal has to turn and Point closed on him quickly. Royal reaches back and knocks that away. Pickard sweeps that across for Vlasic, who banks it around for Parayko. Parayko lifts that off the glass and down the German zone. Marner gets there first to negate the icing. Mitch Marner digs for it. Works it free for Point. Back at the point is Parayko, a hard shot. Grubauer made the save on that stinger from Colton Parayko.
Travis Konechny's got 7 assists on that kid line in the tournament. Braden Point's got 4 goals. Mitch Marner's got 4 goals and 5 assists as well. And John Cooper's had no inclination to break them up at all. They've been the line that stayed together since the very beginning of this tournament.
Off the face-off, Skinner knocked that wide. Now the clearing attempt goes off Skinner, and Jeff Skinner causing all kinds of problems there for Frank Hordler. And now the puck bounces around in the corner, went off the glass, and the face-off will come outside.
I mentioned earlier that Patrick Hager had a 2 and a 10 for a hit to the head. It was actually a slew foot on Mozyakin from Russia. And it was a bad one too.
Abelshauser with it. Out to center ice, Josh Morrissey knocks it down. And Morrissey digs it free. Finds Nathan McKinnon. Up for Skinner. In comes Skinner. Moves around Abelshauser. Now Skinner. Fed back and tipped away there by Matheson. And Marcus kicked back on it for Germany. Scheifele range back to take him off the puck, and now Morrissey has it back for Canada. Morrissey drops it off to McKinnon. Got dumped there by Yannick Seidenberg, and the puck picked up by Matheson. In comes Matheson, shoots, and Grubauer makes the glove save. And McKinnon gets bumped there by Yannick Seidenberg.
Seidenberg and McKinnon were wrapped up coming off the wing here, and Seidenberg knocks him to the ice once, and that's where the little fencing battle starts, and it's going to end after Grubauer makes the glove save. No penalties in this first period so far.
Now O'Reilly will take the draw. There was Giroux and Simmons. O'Reilly wins it back to Lee. Giroux, the third man across the top. Lee takes his shot. Simmons pulls it free. Giroux, a hard shot off the end boards. It goes, and O'Reilly couldn't quite get there. Now Block that plays that to the line and just out. Held by DeHaan. Back for Giroux.
Giroux gets himself up between the defensemen a lot in the offensive zone. Tough to find him. It's another space to create some offense from.
Now DeHaan chips it in. And Moritz Mueller has it. Out for Hager. Now Simmons cannons it up at center ice. Long cross ice pass to O'Reilly. In comes Ryan O'Reilly. Works it back in, drops it off to Simmons. Wayne Simmons with a head of steam. Loose behind the goal now. Simmons drops it back to Parayko. Has time. Plays it back for Vlasic. To Parayko. Back across to Vlasic. Swings it down to Giroux. O'Reilly goes off on a change. So does Giroux as Vlasic plays it in. And Ehrhoff has it. Tiffles fell. German's able to clear it as Matt Duchesne has it back for Canada. Vlasic rink wide now for Killorn. Alex Killorn sends it in. Up in the corner by Schutz. Ehrhoff banks it around. And a race for it now as Couturier came back on Wolf. DeHaan for Demers. Up ahead for Killorn. Alex Killorn works in, centers it there for Couturier. He throws it back through the crease. And Duchesne bumps there with Schutz. Long lead pass by Schutz. Missed Tiffles. Icing call against the Germans at the end of a long shift.
Giroux starts in the shooting position off the face-off, and there you see him up near the top. He started out there, stayed out there. Nobody can get to him, and he blows this by the glove of Grubauer and past the left post. If you get out there, it's really difficult for the defenseman or the centerman to find you, and it's difficult to identify who's going to cover the forward out there.
Will that be the next thing in the NHL?
Got to find space somewhere.
Point wins that face-off across, picked up by DeHaan.
I like it because it also gives you the attack point where you're coming in while everybody else is coming out to defend against you.
Crease violation call against Mitch Marner. Connecting call for the crease violation. The face-off will come outside.
The rambunctious player had a really good first year in Philadelphia. Had 11 goals. Got banged up a little bit. Probably ran out of gas towards the end of the year, but made the team out of camp. Just 20 years old, and the Flyers love the energy that he plays with.
Elise had that tap back, and now Abelshauser goes across for it. High in the air, glove down by Parayko. In he comes. Colton Parayko taken down, and a penalty coming now to Germany. With 3:45 to go in the first period, a hooking call will go to Patrick Reimer, and Canada's lethal power play goes to work.
It's certainly not anything that Germany wants on a frequent basis. Canada 12 for 25 on the power play. There's the penalty on Reimer. Parayko makes it happen by getting his feet moving.
Parayko remains out for the power play. He's got 3 man advantage goals for Canada. Ryan O'Reilly has 3 as well.
2 slappers and a wrist shot.
Face off won by O'Reilly, back to Parayko, and Canada gets set up. Marner works in, Mitch Marner swings it down to O'Reilly, back for Marner. Centering pass for Shifley, misfired the one-timer, and held by McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon works in, back to Parayko for McKinnon. Down the goal line he goes, it bounces off Shifley's stick, and Shifley tied up there by Dennis Seidenberg. Loose in the corner, O'Reilly works it free, back to McKinnon. Auger keeping an eye on Parayko back at the point. McKinnon goes the other way to Shifley. Back to McKinnon. Walks in, shoots, Grubauer save, rebound loose in front. Shifley chopped at it, put it wide. Here's Parayko back with it. Swings it across to McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon, a centering pass goes off the stick of O'Reilly into the corner. Now Marner back with it. Mitch Marner winds in, drops it down to O'Reilly. He bobbled it, centers it, Shifley scores! Mark Shifley snaps it home on the power play, and Canada has a 1-0 lead.
Man, this power play is astounding in their efficiency. They moved the puck, they had it in the German zone for 56 straight seconds. Remember the play Nate McKinnon made, saving the puck over at the far blue line. O'Reilly bobbles the puck for a moment, and then a little backhand pass finds Mark Shifley. Shifley started with a real slow way to the tournament. Got going a little bit here towards the end. And a perfect shot up over Grubauer, and Canada's got a 1-0 lead.
Shifley, a gold medal winner for Canada last year's World Championship.
And there's Ryan O'Reilly again, involved in something for Canada. He's had an outstanding tournament. Marner with his 10th point as well.
Couturier sends it ahead. Sean Couturier's stick got knocked out of his hands, and Ehrhoff has it back. So a costly penalty by Reimer on the hook, and Canada gets its 13th power play goal in 26 attempts in the World Championship. Now Ehrhoff shoots, tipped just wide there by Yannick Seidenberg. What a chance for Germany to tie it up moments later. Caught ahead by Mike Matheson now for Matt Duchene. Back for Matheson, poke checked away by Ehrhoff. Duchene brings it back in. Matt Duchene lays it down for Alex Killorn. Killorn digs it free. This pass picked up by Dominic Cahoon, the former Sudbury Wolf star. Now brought in by Killorn. Alex Killorn holds, feeds it back, and the shot by Demers was blocked by David Wolf. Wolf's pass bounces down to DeHaan, who plays it across for Simmons. Wayne Simmons. Lead pass for Braden Shen, an all-flyer line out there now, as Giroux picks it up out there along with Shen and Simmons. Braden Shen with Demers drifting in. Bumped there by Alberthauser. Now a shot right on, as Demers' shot went off a German defender right down to Grubauer. Frank Hordler almost put that in his own net.
Hordler's going to try and catch this puck, and he knocks it right towards his goal. Grubauer following the puck and makes the save. Here's that chance. Ehrhoff slaps this to the net. Oh, Seidenberg whiffed on it and hit his foot and went wide of Calvin Pickard. A terrific opportunity that Seidenberg just misses with his stick, or else this game's likely tied.
Giroux for the face-off against Yashin Aliyev. And won by Giroux. Shen bats out of the corner. Dennis Seidenberg plays it around. When he was 15 years old, Dennis Seidenberg was a champion junior tennis player in Germany. Had to choose between hockey and tennis. He liked hockey better. For a long career in the National Hockey League, just finished his 13th NHL season. Here comes Seidenberg with it. Built like a brick. And now brought in by Elise, and the play is offside.
After the season last year, he was bought out in Boston and then had to fight his way back to earn a contract with the Islanders. Here's that power play goal again. Shockingly, Marner has so much patience with the puck. He comes all the way up. Never looks like there's ever a panicked beat in his heart. He goes down to the goal line, and O'Reilly knows that Shifley's standing right in the slot. He's moved over 5 or 7 feet to give a good passing lane from the middle, and he makes a perfect shot up over the shoulder of Grubauer.
Back goes Ehrhoff for it. And DeHaan gathers up the loose puck. Spins and shoots, that's wide of the goal. It bounces to Konechny. Travis Konechny out there along with Point and Marner. And Konechny feeds it back. Marner at the top, across for Demers. In, shoots, Grubauer save, rebound loose in front. Grubauer's down, they're trying to dig it free. Konechny's in there for it. Hager throws him down. And Grubauer has it.
Gord, I was talking earlier about Claude Giroux standing out towards the blue line and how difficult it is to defend. Well, that's where Mitch Marner starts this play. That's Marner way out on the top. When Marner starts the play, that opens up a shot off the wing for Demers. And then Marner can attack the net and attack the rebound. Point is battling for position with Christian Ehrhoff, and then Konechny comes in from the back door to fish around. But that all starts 60 feet from the net with the forward out in control of the puck, and then on the flanks come the defensemen. It becomes difficult to read.
Now Vlasic. That shot hit Draisaitl, bounced to the side, boards to a lead. Back for Draisaitl. The Germans have to regroup as Appelshauser has it. Konrad Appelshauser plays for the German league champions in Munich. Shot that in, Vlasic picks it up. And now McKinnon tied up at the corner. Draisaitl battles there with McKinnon. And time expires here in the opening period. Mark Scheifele on the power play gives Canada a 1-0 lead after the opening 20 minutes. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship live from Cologne, Germany.
Here's the score for the first period. Team Canada, 1 Team Germany. Nach dem ersten Drittel zwischen Kanada und Deutschland der Zwischenstand 1:0 für Kanada. Wir schauen auf die Schussstatistik im ersten Drittel. Kanada mit 15 Schüssen, 9 Tore, Deutschland mit 7 Schüssen. Shots on goal for first period. Team Canada 15, Team Germany 7.
Are you kidding me, Kelso?
Yeah, Bobo. Mark, can you just one more guy? Okay. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2.
So Mark, the power play strikes again. How come no one has been able to slow this group down lately?
We got different options, so if they take away one, we got a few more. So we got some pretty talented guys on our power play, so hopefully we can keep it going.
What have you seen from the German game so far? Perhaps some wrinkles that you'll be able to take advantage of in the second period?
They're strong. They play good defensively. They, clog the middle up. So I think we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. Hold on to the puck, get shots through from the point, and crash the net from there.
Hearing the crowd at all out there, or is it all white noise at this point?
It's all white noise. Obviously, we knew it was going to be a ruckus crowd here, but pretty much all of us are used to that on any given night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Schütze mit der 55, Mark Scheifele. Die Assistenten mit der 90, Ryan O'Reilly. Und mit der 16, 72, Ryan O'Reilly. Und mit der 16, first intermission, it's time for the top 3 saves of previous games. And today, we have the saves of Tuesday, and there's a German save as well. You can watch them now on the screen. Traditionell schauen wir in der ersten Drittelpause dieser Weltmeisterschaft immer auf die Top 3 Paraden der Torhüter des eigentlich vorherigen Tages, der gestern aber spielbar war. Schauen wir auf den Dienstag und da ist eine deutsche Parade mit dabei. Jetzt auf der Table für die Top 3 Saves.
Philipp Grubauer, the native of Rosenheim, Germany. Leon Dreisaitl from right here in Cologne. His dad, Peter, was a great German player. In fact, took part in the shootout that Canada was in against Germany at the 1992 Olympic Winter Games in Albertville, France. A 1-0 lead for Canada. In Paris, Sweden and Switzerland tied at 1 early in the second period. The Swiss were on the power play. If the Swiss are true to form, they'll take that thing to overtime.
They didn't get out of there in 60 minutes. almost at all in that preliminary round.
8 of the last 15 games of the World Championship have gone past regulation. Fired wide of the goal as Marc-Edouard Vlasic goes back for it, banks it off the glass. The teams are 5-on-5 to start the second period. Draisaitl. Slow start to the season for him, but a big finish. Same was true in the playoffs. Lead pass for Couturier, picked off there and brought in by Elise. He was straightened up there by Duchesne. Couturier for Duchesne, works in. And Elise took that away from him. Now going back is Parayko. Elise bearing in. And Parayko banks it around for Vlasic. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, a lead pass for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne waits for help to arrive, drops it back. Killorn plays it across. Pass right back to Duchesne. In shoots. Grubauer makes the stop, and the rebound drops down. Cleared away by Royal. Another shot by DeHaan. Grubauer makes the stop through the traffic as Matt Duchesne was standing right on the doorstep.
Grubauer stopped 13 of 14 in the first period. Now he's made 2 real good saves to start here. Duchesne tested him from about 15 feet. Duchesne leaves that shot in the middle of the net. He's got room up over Grubauer's shoulder. But Duchesne left it in a position where Grubauer was able to chest it aside.
O'Reilly wins the face-off, back for DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan into the corner for Claude Giroux, feeds it back. Bobbled there by O'Reilly at the hustle back, with Hager bearing it on him. O'Reilly for Simmons. Wayne Simmons sweeps that down in the German zone. Grubauer out to play it. Bouncing back behind the goal. Stolen by Giroux. Tapped wide there by Simmons. And back the other way comes Brooks Macek. Across the line, the pass for Hager, but the play is offside at the Canadian line.
Tight call at the line for Germany as they had a little bit of advantage, and they're going to have to take advantage of any of those little breakdowns that Canada makes, because there's not going to be a whole bunch of them.
Josh Morrissey across to Mike Matheson, the defenseman of the year in last year's World Championship. Plays it around for Skinner. The centering pass is picked off, and Dominic Cahoon brings it out. Cahoon up ahead for Kink, and Marcus Kink in the corner feeds that back for Abeltauser. Now a long shot taken there by Hordler, and Scheifele up the center ice, missed Skinner with that pass. Abeltauser comes out ahead for Kink. Now Abeltauser jumps on the loose puck, gets bumped in the corner by Skinner. Scheifele comes in to help out. And Kink works it free for Germany. In the corner for Cahoon. Scheifele stepped into him. Now Kink comes back for it. Pass goes back to the point, kept alive by Abeltauser. Kink tried to center it, knocked away there by Scheifele. And now Morrissey, knocked off stride by Kink, throws it back to center ice. Pickard misplayed that for a moment. Now it's fed ahead to Skinner by Matheson. Jeff Skinner just back foots out ahead. The pass is picked off by Schutz. Lead pass for Wolf. In comes Wolf, a centering pass. Just missed Frederick Tipples. Now Schutz back with it. Moritz Mueller gathers up the rolling puck. Good pressure by the Germans in the opening moments of the second period. That shot fired wide. As David Wolf got that away. Brought in now by Point. Braden Point. For Konechny, plays that rink wide. Now a centering pass for Point, picked off by Tipples, and Konechny stepped into Tipples, and that forces Grubauer to hang on.
2 good shifts in a row by Germany, but the puck never gets to the net. It's always around the outside. They had one chance that went right past Calvin Pickard, but nothing where Pickard had to make a stop on it. And for Germany, the danger always is that you hold the puck, you wait. Sometimes you just got to get it to the net and try and charge your forwards into the front of the net. You're not going to have enough zone time to wait for the perfect time, for the perfect pass.
Now the draw, Marner picks it free. Mitch Marner looks down to Konechny. He was tied up by Ehrhoff. Vlasic for Konechny, and now Ehrhoff goes back for it. Reimer, pass to the middle of Ehrhoff. He finds Draisaitl. Draisaitl goes rink wide for Ehrhoff. He bobbled it. And Parayko closes on him. Picked up again by Ehrhoff. Shoots. That was tipped wide by Draisaitl. And Point has the loose puck for Canada. Across to Parayko. Colton Parayko comes leaping in. Parayko shoots and Grubauer squeezes that and hangs on.
Parayko had a down year goal-wise this year. He had 100 shots. His first 100 shots of the year didn't go in. It's kind of hard to believe considering the way he shoots the puck. But he did score 5 goals in his first 14 games last year. He just exploded onto the scene. A third-round draft pick of the Blues.
Now comes Lee with a shot, and Grubauer fights that off. The puck goes over the glass as Chris Lee unloaded on that. Chris Lee joined Canada midway through the tournament when Tyson Barrie went out. Spent this year with Magnitogorsk in the KHL.
There's a big advantage for Canada on the face-off as Giroux cleans out Plachta on that draw. And Lee's able to walk into this, force Grubauer into another stop.
And now on the other side of the ice, they send O'Reilly out to take the draw. He's winning about 75% of his face-off. Wins that cleanly back to Simmons, who taps it back. Across it goes. Giroux with a quick shot, and Grubauer makes a save on that. 2 face-off wins, 2 good chances on goal.
Two different attacks of the net as well. As this time, O'Reilly's going to win it. Giroux's on the inside of the slot. He feathers out right to the dot. That passes on the tee, and Grubauer sharply gets across to make the stop.
O'Reilly will take the draw again on this side. Wins it cleanly back to Lee for Matheson. Down to Giroux. Cross-ice pass for Lee with pinched in. Lee plays it back. Giroux, a hard shot. Grubauer save. Loose in front. A chance for Simmons. Shoots. He put it high.
Grubauer's been really smart, really sharp in this contest today.
Now a pass for the trailer. Alberts holds it in. Shoots. Blocked by Simmons. Centering pass goes off a heel right back to Hager. Sends it back in behind Plachta. And Giroux pokes it ahead for Simmons. In comes Wayne Simmons. Goes behind his back. Simmons buys some time. Stops for the trailer. Giroux walks in. Claude Giroux centers it. Simmons fires. Grubauer makes the save. And the rebound cleared away by Hager.
Excellent shift for Wayne Simmons. Gord, you mentioned the block in front of Calvin Pickard. Then he creates the chance up at the other end of the ice that eventually gets onto his stick. And a stop by Grubauer.
Back of the point is DeHaan. Swings it across. Demers in. Shoots. It goes off the stick of Kinkin wide. Couturier feeds it back for Demers. Along wrist shot. Tipped it wide of the goal by Killorn. Now Duchesne has it. Matt Duchesne swings it down for DeHaan. The open side of Couturier. Sean Couturier works it back for DeHaan. Long shot that goes wide. Bounces on the back of the net. Picked up by Duchesne. Killorn comes in to help as well. Duchesne works it free. Picked up by Kink. His clearing attempt bounces to Mueller. Now picked up at center ice by Killorn. In comes Alex Killorn. And wide he goes. Couturier shoots. Tipped just wide by Killorn. And back down to the Canadian zone. 21-7, the shots on goal in favor of Canada. 1-0 lead on a power play goal by this man, Mark Scheifele. Scheifele works in. Sends it back in front. McKinnon with a tip there. Grubauer made the stop. Vlasic. Back in the corner now for McKinnon. He and Scheifele collide. Scheifele battles the loose puck. Works it free for McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon falls. As Draisaitl leaned into him. Skinner with it now. Jeff Skinner sends it back in front. A point-blank chance for Scheifele. Stopped by Grubauer. Scheifele back with it. To the point he goes, out of the reach of Vlasic. And back down to the Canadian zone. Quick up by Pickard. He finds Skinner. In comes Jeff Skinner. Hooked by Draisaitl. Skinner in. Shoots. Grubauer makes the stop. But Canada's going back to the power play. 13:38 to go here in period number 2. Canada up 1 with a man advantage coming. Wayne Simmons has had his chances in the last few moments, and now will come up in the power play with Giroux, Skinner, Lee, and Shen.
Shen led the NHL with 17 power play goals, tied with Alexander Ovechkin. Simmons was next at 16.
Nikita Kucherov was also in there with 17, and Kucherov is lighting it up for the Russians in this tournament.
And their power play's just been as good as Canada's.
Here's Lee across the top with it. Chris Lee plays it down. Skinner walks in, fires. Grubauer save. The rebound picked up for a moment by Fauser, but he was poke checked by Skinner. Shen works it free. Ehrhoff tied up, comes back in front. Giroux with a drive, and Grubauer makes the save.
Giroux's just standing there, and the puck ends up going right to him. He walks into a one-timer. Christian Ehrhoff goes to pass this to Hauser, and he passes it too hard. It's right on the tape for Giroux, but it's the offside one-timer that's caught and grabbed by Grubauer. Shots are 10-0 Canada in this second period.
Here's Lee on a face-off win by Giroux. Claude Giroux works in, feeds that down for Simmons. It skipped away. Skinner back for Simmons. Banks it back for Giroux. Claude Giroux feeds it back to Lee. Chris Lee snaps it back for Giroux. To Lee, winds and shoots. Grubauer save. Rebound loose in front. Giroux comes in for it and taps it wide. Picked up by Ehrhoff, who fires it down the ice. Marner works it in. Out there along with O'Reilly. Shifley and McKinnon. Shifley sends it back in front. O'Reilly lifted that high. Now McKinnon. Tied up in the corner. Now there's puck back down the ice by Mueller. 45 seconds to go in the Canadian power play. Colton Parayko has 3 goals in the tournament, all in the power play. In across the line, the play's offside.
Parayko got to a point where he was stuck coming in over the blue line. There was nowhere to move the puck, and he wanted to carry it in. He made one little fake 5 feet outside the blue line and put everybody else offside. There's Mark Shifley, the game's only goal in the first period on the power play. About 17 minutes in.
Face-off won by O'Reilly, and Marner has it back. Mitch Marner works in. 4 German players converge on him. Marner falls, and a penalty coming to Mitch Marner. He clipped Dennis Royal with a high stick, and the power play's over as Marner goes off.
Marner blows his shoe as he's going through the middle of the ice, and his stick clips Royal.
Accidental high sticks are called in the IIHF as if they're intentional.
Hits him right in the side of the head, and Giroux's trying to plead the case, which, as always, goes nowhere.
So 4-on-4 for 26 seconds, and then Germany will go to the power play for the first time. And Giroux stays out there for the defensive zone faceoff.
Team Canada, number 16.
Off the draw. There's Tipples with it. Western Michigan Bronco is Frederick Tipples. Nathan McKinnon lives in the corner with it now. Knocked down there by Royal. McKinnon gets back on it, gets knocked down by Royal again. And Ehrhoff brings it ahead for Germany. 3-on-2. Ehrhoff drops it back. That shot by Yannick Seidenberg goes off a leg and wide. And now Germany on the power play for a minute and a half. But McKinnon shovels that down to the German zone, and fresh penalty killers come on for Canada.
This might be the opportunity Germany needs. They haven't had a shot in this period, outshot 11-0, and now they have their first power play. They've got 7 power play goals in the tournament.
Crowd to its feet now, Draisaitl. Plays it around for David Wolf. Back at the point, now a race for O'Reilly going on an Ehrhoff, and O'Reilly gets there, can't get a shot away. And now fed back in front by Point. Grubauer dives to launch that ahead. Draisaitl. Pass ahead for Reimer. He gets bumped there by Parayko. Poked around by Vlasic. And Draisaitl can't hold it. A chance now for point. And Seidenberg knocked that away. Goes off point, right back to Seidenberg. Long lead pass finds Wolf. His rink-wide pass knocked down by Couturier and sent down the ice.
It's a clinic of stick position for Canada. They've knocked down 3 passes.
Killorn knocks it down. Couturier in shorthanded. Grubauer makes the save.
Well, Couturier had so much time, and he one-times this. He could have easily hung on to it and gone to his backhand. Seidenberg forced off the puck. Terrific play by Killorn. There's nobody around. If Couturier takes that one stride, he's probably got Grubauer at a disadvantage, and as it is, it just catches the inside of the left pad of Philip Grubauer.
Off the draw, Seidenberg sends it across to Cahoon. 20 seconds to go in the German power play. Hager works in, stripped there by Couturier. Bouncing puck loose in front, fed ahead by DeHaan. A race for it now. Seidenberg goes back, Grubauer out to play it. Knocks it ahead for Cahoon. Penalty killing clinic by Sean Couturier. And now Demers races to it. Marner steps back on. The teams are back to 5-on-5 past the midway point of the second period. Demers for Killorn. Chips that neatly for Marner. Works here with Couturier and DeHaan. The drop pass for Calvin DeHaan. Back for Marner. Works it back in front. Grubauer the save with a pad. Now Duchesne across to Matheson as Canada changes. Mike Matheson works in. Plays it off the back of the net. Gets punched there by Yannick Seidenberg. Appleshauser plays it across. That pass almost picked off there by Duchesne. And now Morrissey up ahead for Duchesne. With Shen, the drop pass for Braden Shen. Back for Duchesne. Duchesne works it back to Matheson. Shoots, that was blocked. And Matheson hustles back with Yannick Seidenberg bearing in on him. Now Morrissey headbands it for Canada. Josh Morrissey works in, shoots from a sharp angle. Grubauer's save. Shen digging for the loose puck, but the German netminder has it.
I'm sure there's been a shift or two where Marner hasn't created a chance. He comes out of the penalty box and it's a 3-on-2. Pete Couturier and Calvin DeHaan, and it's Marner who tries to spin it around the left pad of Grubauer. Seems hard to believe that he won't be the starting goaltender for the Vegas Golden Knights. Maybe Gerard Gallant, who's on the Canadian bench, is watching his goaltender. Grubauer will have to be exposed in that draft.
Vlasic shot broke the stick of Reimer. And now an offside call against Canada. That's going to go all the way down to the Canadian zone for the face-off. They'll call it intentional.
The reason it gets called intentional is when it's a delay, you've got to spin out of the zone, but Scheifele went back at the defenseman. So they call it as such, and the puck comes all the way down to the Canada zone.
Sweden back on top of Switzerland by a score of 2-1. O'Reilly wins it across to Vlasic. And now Simmons tries to dig it free. Parayko up for Simmons. Lost the puck to Draisaitl. William Nylander has the second Sweden goal.
Having a terrific tournament.
O'Reilly moves it ahead for Simmons. In they come again. Wayne Simmons. Back and forth for O'Reilly. Tipped that wide of the goal. Now O'Reilly back on it. For Giroux. Low Giroux swings it across. A shot by Parayko. Goes off Elise and wide. Here's Simmons. Wayne Simmons. Shields off Draisaitl. Vlasic. Plays it down to O'Reilly. Royal picks it up. And Dennis Royal moves that to the line, but not out. Royal spent 2 years playing in Lewiston in the Quebec Major Junior League. Was a 5th-round pick by Boston in 2007. Racing to it now. Masek. The centering pass broken up by Simmons. Vlasic was looking ahead for Scheifele. He was alone behind the defense. Now Skinner falls. Parayko swings back to pick up the loose puck.
lots of complaints about the ice in the early part of the preliminary round. It looks a lot better here. It doesn't seem to be any patchy, sticky spots or anything.
Skinner kicks out ahead for McKinnon. Drops it back to Jeff Skinner. Skinner pivots back, winds his way in. Jeff Skinner, a backhand shot was blocked. Shifley was dumped. And now Skinner digs for loose puck. McKinnon comes in to help as well. McKinnon works that free for Shifley. High in the air, back to center ice to Hahn. Back to pick it up. Plays it back for Lee. That pass almost picked off there by Misek. Now to Hahn, fires it down to the German zone. Here's Skinner waiting for it. Skinner tries to pull that free, picked off by Misek. And Lee goes back for the loose puck. Lee, rink wide for Matheson. In comes Matheson with Shifley. Matheson waits as Canada's changing, shoots, and Grubauer makes the glove save. 1-0 Canada leads. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship from Cologne, Germany.
Quarterfinal in Paris, Switzerland playing Sweden. There's live footage on the screen, and the current score of the second period is Switzerland 1, Sweden 2. Ein Blick rüber nach Paris zum Viertelfinale dort. Leichtbilder kann auch die Videogruppe die Schweiz gegen Schweden aktueller Zwischenplatz im zweiten Drittel. 2:1 für Schweden.
Marco Sturm in his second year as the head coach of the German national team. 14 NHL seasons. San Jose, Boston, LA, Washington, Vancouver, Florida. A horrible ankle injury suffered as a member of the San Jose Sharks. Shattered his ankle playing in Colorado. And a brutal knee injury playing in Boston. It was the knee that finally derailed his career.
Really good guy. Really good news for the German hockey program that someone of Marco's age has come back and started and taken over the program.
At the 2016 World Junior Division B, Germany was almost relegated. So they're trying to rebuild their junior program as well. As Point comes in, drops it back for Konechny. Travis Konechny. Back in the corner for Point. Collides there with Dennis Seidenberg. And Point picks it free. Point to Marner. Back to Matheson. In for Marner. Marner shot goes off the leg of Seidenberg. Now picked free by Point. Point down to Marner. And Marner stapled there to the inboards by Seidenberg. Now sent down in the Canadian zone as Morrissey goes back. It's an icing call against Germany. And Konechny's arguing that he was being held, as was Point.
Seidenberg had him pinned up against the end boards, and Seidenberg's been more than around the block a few times. Talked about how he had to earn a contract after being bought out in Boston. He got to the World Cup, he didn't have a contract. He played really well, he still didn't have a contract, and then he signed with the Islanders and had a really good year. 22 points and really gave them solid minutes.
He and Zdeno Chara were that defensive pair for the Bruins in their Stanley Cup year of 2011.
They skated miles in those playoffs, those two.
And played hours. Loose puck in front, Couturier knocks it down, and that was bobbled by Duchesne, now brought back by Germany. Fed ahead by Schutz, he spins and puts that in the corner. Shots are 15-0 Canada here in the second period. Overall, 30-7, but it's still 1-0 on a power play goal by Mark Shifley. Elise. And across the line, dumped there by Vlasic. And now Draisaitl. It's taken off the puck by Parayko. Loose puck at the side of the goal for a moment. Shen. Chris Pat's ahead for Giroux. He's got Killorn on the lead pass. That just missed him, and Killorn now digs for it in the corner. Kaloran falls. And the puck is underneath the German player, Frank Ordman.
The most noticeable Kaloran has been in the tournament. He's had more of a defensive role, hasn't had the puck a whole lot, but I've liked his game tonight. He's been engaged on the puck, energetic. Just misses as he's with Claude Giroux, as Giroux had him out ahead of the pack. Germany loses Frederick Tiffels, maybe their fastest skater. Gord, you mentioned 3 years he's played at Western Michigan. He's a 6th round pick of the Penguins in 2015, and he scored that shootout winner to put them in this game against Latvia.
A wild game for the Germans. Latvia took the lead with 4 to go. They got called for delay of game. The Germans tying it up on a goal by Schutz with 33 seconds left in the third period. Overtime, Latvia had 2 breakaways in the OT. There's a shot off the draw. O'Reilly puts it in, and I think they're going to call that a penalty on Ryan O'Reilly. Or perhaps a warning. We have seen players called for penalties for shooting the puck in the net after the whistle, and now the officials are conferring.
I think they probably got a clock issue.
Hang on, this might be a penalty on O'Reilly. It is.
I didn't hear the whistle. No, the penalty's on Claude Giroux.
Delaying of the game.
John Cooper just said, that's embarrassing for our game. The penalty on Giroux. I don't even know what the penalty's for.
He win the faceoff with his hand?
The look of bemusement there speaks a lot for Cooper. And now Germany, a gift power play. This is their second of the period.
Face-off won by O'Reilly, and Parayko sends it down.
Time 35 minutes, 14 seconds.
Ehrhoff on the German power play. Now point in, causing problems for David Wolf. 4.5 to go in the second period. Brooks Masek leaves it back for Ehrhoff. And away comes Draisaitl with it, flips out ahead. Vlasic races to it. Looked high in the air, and now knocked down by Point. He's got Vlasic with him, short-handed. In comes Point. Post up, Canada's changing. He plays it back for Parayko. Haven't had a shot since late in the first period.
21 minutes. Lucky they're still in the game. Grubauer's been outstanding here.
They're a shot away from tying it. Ehrhoff plays it across. That was bobbled by Reimer. Moved ahead by Kaloran. He pokes it up now for Couturier. Ehrhoff back. Canada breaks in short-handed. Couturier in. Drops it back. Knocked away from Vlasic. And now a chance for Germany the other way. Draisaitl works in. Drops it back across, and racing back was Vlasic to take that away from Schutz and send it down the ice. What a play by Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
Vlasic's in on the rush. He realizes he's burned, and he gets all the way back to turn that play away. Outstanding effort by Vlasic.
20 seconds to go on the German power play. Plachta takes the return pass in the corner. Matthias Plachta tied up there by DeHaan. Now DeHaan falls. The wall is sealed by the Murs. Cahoon goes racing to it. Simmons comes up to confront him. Shoots. Centers it. Back it goes. Seidenberg fires. He hammered that wide. A rocket for Dennis Seidenberg. Now the centering pass is blocked by DeHaan and sent down the ice. Giroux steps out of the box. Banks it back for Simmons. In comes Simmons. Shoots, and Grubauer got just a piece of that. What a rocket from Dennis Seidenberg that just missed the net. Now they bring it back in, and Cahoon had his pocket picked by Duchesne. Morrissey throws it ahead for Simmons. In comes Wayne Simmons for Morrissey. Couldn't get a stick on that. Now he collides with the net, and the face-off will come outside.
And there's nothing wrong with Canada's effort in this game here. Marc-Edouard Vlasic joins this rush. It's a 3-on-2, but it's poked off his stick. Draisaitl's going to pitch it outside to Schutz. And look at the effort and the speed of Vlasic to open it up, come back, poke the puck off his stick. and the Seidenberg blast catches the outside of the post and goes wide. You saw Cooper's reaction to the penalty a little earlier.
2:20 remaining here in the second period. Long shoot in by Morrissey. And Portland goes back to pick it up. Intercepted by Scheifele. To the side of the goalie goes for Skinner, and Grubauer pounces on that loose puck. And Philip Grubauer, the 25-year-old, is having himself a pretty good afternoon for Germany. Glove save there. And the shot 31-7 in favor of Canada. 16-0 here in the period. It's been Grubauer who's held the Germans in it. Now a quick shot by Skinner, another glove save by Grubauer. Scheifele plays it back for Matheson, who holds the line for Canada. Mike Matheson. Long wrist shot, Grubauer save, rebound, score! Jeff Skinner! Canada takes a 2-0 lead.
Well, this was certainly earned by Team Canada. They've played an outstanding period. Their 18th shot of the period, and they've had nothing for it. Michael Matheson's mobility on the blue line takes the puck about 10 or 12 feet to his left. Look how quickly he gets across. Wrist shot save, and Skinner gets in behind the German defense, and it's 2-0 Canada. Outstanding play by Matheson.
Jeff Skinner scored in Canada's first 3 games. A couple of odd ones, an empty netter, he flipped over defenseman, a centering pass that went off a stick and in. But 8 shots on goal against Norway, lots of chances in the game against Finland, nothing to show for it, and a huge goal here late in the second period to give Canada finally a 2-goal lead.
Time 30 minutes, 8 seconds. Tor für Team Kanada. Der Torschütze mit der 3.
Matheson's mobility really clears the lane. There is no shooting lane, except he goes and makes one himself. Grubauer makes the initial stop, but Skinner's there to take the puck, go to his backhand, and slide it in the net.
Sweden with a 2-1 lead on Switzerland after 2 periods there. Winner of that game gets Finland in the semifinals. Winner of this game gets Russia. That shot by Elise is blocked. Now Draisaitl dumps it back from Reimer. He's poke checked there by Vlasic. Mark-Edward Vlasic with a huge last few minutes here for Canada. Works in, he shoots that wide. Vlasic, an Olympic and World Cup champion with Team Canada. Marner went down the point, and give him credit for coming to the World Championship after going to the Stanley Cup final last season with San Jose, then a World Cup, and a full season with the Sharks. A lot of hockey in 18 months.
And when he got here, he didn't have any clothes.
Yeah, his luggage was lost for a few days. Final minute now of the period. Marner plays it around for Konechny. Taps it back in front. DeHaan reaching for it. And Ehrhoff banks it around for Royal. Dennis Royal, long lead pass, kicked away by Demers. And Simmons has it back. Up for O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly tees it up and shoots. Blocked by Royal. O'Reilly gets it right back and throws it in the corner. Simmons works in, shoots, short side on Grubauer, who makes the stop and teeters over as he squeezes the loose puck.
A little bit of an awkward stop, but Grubauer continues to do an amazing job in goal here for Germany. Just 2-0, and Germany does not have a shot here with 27 seconds left in the period. Just to clarify the Giroux penalty, there were 2 face-off violations on the same play, and the second one earns the penalty.
Okay. Duchesne centers it. Shot there by Cologne, turned away by Grubauer. Now backhanded in front by Duchesne. And Couturier couldn't quite reach it.
And Grubauer is going to be exhausted in 15 seconds when this period ends.
Now Couturier spills pucks at the line.
Plachta doesn't want to touch the puck because it's offside. And he takes the bump from Couturier. Couturier kind of waves his hand and as Plachta tries to draw a penalty.
Yes, Plachta signed as a free agent by Arizona 2 years ago. Spent one season with Springfield and Wilkes-Barre in the American League. Long shoot in. Knocked away by Pickard with time winding down here in the period. "35 shots for Canada, 7 for Germany." Jeff Skinner finally gives Canada a 2-goal lead. 2-0 score after 2. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship. Our second intermission is coming up.
The score of the second period, Team Canada 2, Team Germany 0. Nach 2 Dritteln steht es 2:0 für Kanada. In Deutschland schaut die Schlussstand im zweiten Drittel. Gezielt werden nur die Schüsse aufs Tor. Team Kanada 20, Team Deutschland 1 Schuss aufs Tor. Shots on goal for the second period, Team Canada 20, Team Germany 1.
Nice job, Johnson!
With scoring at a bit of a premium here, 5-on-5 lately, how important is it to do all the little things right? I don't think you gave up a shot that entire period to the Germans.
Yeah, Dee did a great job having good gaps and getting the puck up quick. I think that's what we want to do. We want to try and defend fast and get in their end and try to create some offense off the cycle.
One thing Cooper was really stressing before the game today was about this German team and how tenacious and how they never give up. I would assume that's a big message going into the third period in the locker room.
Yeah, they're not going to give up. They work hard. They got some skill too, especially that top line. So we're going to have to be prepared for a good push here from them and come out and have a good third.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Zwei Strafen wegen Hakens. Die Zeit 26:22. 26:22. Yes, let's have a look at the top 3 goals of Tuesday's games. Hier kommen wir schon auf den Screen now. Liebe Eishockey-Fans, jetzt schauen wir uns die Top 3 Tore des Dienstags an. Jetzt zu sehen auf dem Videoüberwachung.
Blackie, we had about 25 bags jammed in one little door section. Good announcers are hard to find. Good porters are really hard to find. And that video, by the way, courtesy of Darren Drager, who was not helping either. Neither of us helped. Nobody helped. Gord sweating like a pack mule getting our stuff off the train, which is the way it should be. Good job, Gord.
And as I was taking the baggage off, this lady standing there said, "You're blocking the way in." I said, "Well,
unless you're going to climb over it."
Ma'am, with due respect.
Drake was in position to help, but he was thinking about the Drager Cafe, and he was not able to put his phone down while he was videoing. We'll help next time.
Look forward to that. Monday.
Oh no. We'll be traveling in a smaller pack then.
Parayko fires and hammers that wide. And Vlasic swings it down for Couturier. Sean Couturier and Marc-Edouard Vlasic. Yeoman work when the score was 1-0 and the Germans pressing on the power play. Now Matt Duchene reaching for it for Couturier, who slides that wide.
You look at those two power plays Germany had. They didn't really get a sniff. Canada just choked them off at the blue line. Parayko and Vlasic, if you mentioned, had outstanding shifts around that time. Vlasic had to get back to save a 2-on-1. Germany with one shot somehow credited, must have been right at the end of the period, but 36-8 are the shots now.
Canada has won 7 in a row against Germany since a tie in 2001. In comes Simmons now. Wayne Simmons pulls in, feeds it back in front. Giroux a chance, and Grubauer turns that away. Alexander has scored early in the third for Sweden, a 3-1 lead on Switzerland.
Nifty little feed. Wayne Simmons has played in hard luck in this tournament. Claude Giroux turns aside to see Giroux with 5 shots in the game, including a couple real dangerous ones. There's off a face-off win. Here he gets a gift from Christian Ehrhoff. Just can't find a way, like many, to beat Philip Grubauer tonight.
Jason Demers centers it down. That pass just missed the stick of Jeff Skinner, who gave Canada a 2-0 lead late in the second period. Poked ahead by Demers. Set down, the Germans ice the puck again. Germany, of course, a soccer powerhouse, but there are so many sports in this country that demand attention.
And as Uwe Krupp told us years ago when he was coaching the national program, the challenge becomes at 13 and 14 when the really athletic kids that are good in hockey, but they're also good in handball or they're good in soccer, and they lose these athletes to other sports.
Ehrhoff with it. Christian Ehrhoff. Up ahead for Patrick Hager. Hager works in, but that rolls off his stick, and Matheson banks it ahead for McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon escapes through Yannick Seidenberg. Now Horace, he fires it back in. Horndler back to pick it up. Here's Conrad Appelshauser. 4 years with the Halifax Mooseheads, the Quebec League for Appelshauser. Won the Memorial Cup there in 2013. Now a steal, Skinner in, slips that wide. As Horndler got a stick on him. Skinner jams away at it again, turned away, and Skinner has a word for the official on the way by. Almost a steal there by Skinner. And now Cahoon throws it ahead to Appelshauser. Bangs that down. Appelshauser, a teammate of Nathan McKinnon on that Halifax Mooseheads team in 2013. Oh, free by Konechny. Why they go to Wolf now. David Wolf works in, fires that down, and Pickard makes the glove save and hangs on.
A couple of no sweaters for Calvin Pickard. It's kind of nice to touch the puck, surely for him. Skinner feels there's a penalty here. Not really sure where, but he's not been thrilled. Or maybe there, I guess, but not been thrilled with the officiating. And has spent a lot of time barking at the officials. And when you come over here and play, and I did in 3 of these tournaments. You have to somehow get past that the game is officiated much differently. Giroux kicked out of the draw again. No penalty because O'Reilly doesn't make a face-off violation as well, which is what happened when Giroux got the penalty in the second period.
Vlasic spins back in the corner. Marc-Edouard Vlasic for Colton Parayko. This has become Canada's #1 defense pairing since Parayko arrived after St. Louis was knocked out in the second round of the playoffs.
Marco Sturm would love to have a couple of shifts in a row where Germany can cycle the puck and hold it in, get a little bit of pressure, maybe get the building to spark up again, because it's gotten pretty flat here as it's been a long, long time with Canada dominating the game.
Remember the unhappiness of the Germans in 2015 when they didn't get Leon Draisaitl from Edmonton? Got relegated at the World Junior. Sturm came in as a general manager the next year. Swing a pass for Giroux. Backs that around. Now back at the line is Vlasic. O'Reilly feeds it back to Parayko. And Giroux gathers it back up. Backhands that down to the German zone. One thing Germany's had over the years, pretty good goaltending. Holy coals have gone down. Away comes Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl works in. Centers it, Ehrhoff in, shoots, he ripped that high.
Those are the chances that the Germans just unfortunately can't miss because they're just not very frequent.
Marner works in now, drops it back. Connect me a drive, and Grubauer makes the stop. A late shoot-in at the end of the second period. The only shot on goal for the Germans in that period. Overall, the shots are 37-10.
Oh, nice work by Konechny to get back to get his stick on Ehrhoff's stick. And then back at the other end, it's Marner's going to find Konechny, who's got his stick scratching on the seal and waiting for the one-timer. Grubauer again with the save.
Just under 17,000 here tonight. Great building.
Big building, the biggest hockey building in Europe.
The standing section they have at the other end of the rink, I don't think is allowed in most jurisdictions in North America. You have to have a seat for every person. As busting in now is Vlasic, loses Marc-Edouard Vlasic, poke checked in by Grubauer.
Vlasic's been up a couple of times. He scored the game-winning goal against France. It was a slap shot that hit the end boards. And
now Parayko off the end boards. Dropped back and Skinner misfired that one-timer. Shot by Vlasic is blocked. And now kept alive by Scheifele. Mark Scheifele buried there by Reimer. That's brought back by Elise. Shoots. Back in the corner for Draisaitl for shoots in. Fired that high. It went off a stick and out of play. And the faceoff will stay in the Canadian zone.
Felix Schutz came off the bench on a change. He's going to take the little dish here into the slot from Draisaitl. His shot hits the coconut of Calvin Pickard. It goes up into the netting. Pickard tracked the puck well, and it hit him right in the Colorado Avalanche logo on the top of his mask.
So one of the things we need to bring home from this tournament, drums and singing for NHL fans.
Yeah, but it's not the same if they have to sit.
Right. And now an elbow to the face of Demers as Wolf caught him. And the officials conferring to see if this is 2 or 4. So that's checking to the head. So that's 2 and 10 for David Wolf.
Wolf's looking up at the clock and waiting to see a replay. Germany just found out about the 10, and so they're going to send a player to serve the minor. Looks like Brooks Masick. So Wolf, who played a few games for the Calgary Flames, is in the box for 2 and 10.
Parayko sends it across. McKinnon a shot. And Grubauer makes the save.
Third power play for Canada. They're 1 for 2 on the evening. Wolf shaking his head here.
It's a long time to sit here in the third period. He won't come back. If Canada doesn't score, he won't be back until there's 2.5 minutes left in the game.
And don't forget, Germany also lost Frederick Tiffel in the second period, so they're down 2 forwards.
He has come back here, hasn't had a shift, but he's on the bench here for the third. McKinnon drops that down to Scheifele to McKinnon. At the point is Parayko. Back for McKinnon, his pass rink wide for Marner. Marner. Heels back in the corner, Mitch Marner. Centers it, bouncing puck loose in front. Scheifele gathers it back up. Scheifele. Back to Parayko. Crossing goes to Marner to Parayko. McKinnon. In, shoots, Grubauer makes the save, swatted it down, and Parayko holds the line for Canada. McKinnon drops it back. O'Reilly, a quick shot, knocked away by Grubauer. McKinnon works it back to O'Reilly to McKinnon for Parayko. Across to Marner, walks in, shoots. Grubauer makes the save, and there's that leaning save he makes when he squeezes the puck and keels over a little bit. O'Reilly was digging for the rebound.
And he's going to keel over because he's exhausted here. Much like the O'Reilly goal in the first period, there he hits the crossbar, a quick pass out, this time from McKinnon. It rings off the bar and out, but 1 minute and 6 seconds after winning the faceoff, they keep the puck in the offensive zone. The Germans' penalty killers are gassed, and they get a couple real good chances highlighted by that crossbar. Man, Claude Giroux is having all kinds of trouble in the faceoff circle. This time they dropped the puck, and he wasn't ready, so now they got to stop and get it again.
And he wins the faceoff back to Skinner. For Lee, back to Skinner. To Chris Lee. Rink wide pass to Giroux. Claude Giroux in, shoots, fires that wide. And Skinner had it poked away by Royal. Skinner back with it, in, fires, and Grubauer got just a piece of that. Simmons back with it. Giroux. Back for Lee. To Skinner. Works in, fires, Grubauer save. Loose puck comes across to Giroux, plays it back. Lee leans into it, shoots. That took a bite out of Marcus King, who blocked it. Puck kept alive by Skinner for Giroux. Giroux.
That's a penalty coming up to Braden Shen.
Yeah, Lee can't pull the trigger. Interference, I think, for knocking the stick out of the hands. And so the power play's over with 16 seconds left. 4-on-4 now.
Shen's right in the middle of the ice. There's the penalty. The stick goes way up in the air. Almost caught on the way down by Yannick Seidenberg as Shen's trying to open up that little pass lane, and
that's interference.
Tough to argue that one, I guess. And
Canada had 5 shots in the power play to that point.
Germany will get their third power play in 16 seconds. And if they're ever going to get back into it, they got to have something happen here on the power play. They're just, it doesn't look like they're capable of generating chances 5-on-5 very often at all.
Team Canada number 10, Brian Shen.
Canada's dominating on face-off so far in this game.
47:02. Es gibt eine Strafe gegen das Team Kanada mit der Nummer 10, Brian Shen, 2 Strafminuten wegen Behinderung. Die Zeit 47:02.
Played back now to Braden Point.
Team Germany is playing up.
The Germans down the power play for 1 minute and 43 seconds. Point plays it deep to O'Reilly. Works it back in front of O'Reilly. Backhands it there. Point digging for it. Grubauer swatted that away. Now stolen by Point. Works it and fires. Blocked by Royal. It bounces right back to the side of the goal, and Braden Point causing all kinds of problems for Germany on the power play. Now Masick brings it out. Drops it back to Ehrhoff. He gets crunched there along the boards by Parayko. And O'Reilly flips that back down to the German zone. Draisaitl steps around Couturier. The puck bounced on him. Now it goes across to Ehrhoff. The 33-year-old Christian Ehrhoff. Poke check by Killorn. DeHaan steps up. And Demers has it back. Swings it across to DeHaan. He'll fire it wide of the goal. It skips right back to Killorn. The backhand shot kicked out by Grubauer. Pretty good play on the carom there by Killorn. Out comes Hager with it. 35 seconds to go in the power play. Hager drops it back. For Cahoon across to Seidenberg. That pass blocked by Couturier. Hager picks it back up. Shoots. Centers it. Cahoon knocks it down. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Cahoon feeds it back to Seidenberg. Teed up, shot wide by Proctor. Now back at the point, Seidenberg. Blocker takes that pass, works it and fires. The puck tipped in front. And Killorn on the backhand plays it down. Then steps out. And brought up by Schutz. Schutz drops it back, blocked a sharp angle shot, knocked up another play by Pickard. 10:45 to go here in period number 3. Canada with a 2-0 lead on Germany.
Congratulations on the victory to Mrs. Sarah Antwerp for being Skoda fan of the game.
Gerard Gallant talking things over with Ryan O'Reilly. Two-time gold medalist in the World Championship. In fact, O'Reilly has won the last 3 international events he's been in for Canada. The World Cup last September and the 2 previous World Championships. Such a valuable guy.
He's so useful to the team he's on. He plays the wing here. He can play in the middle. He's excellent on draws. They use him killing penalties. He's on the power play. He's got had a terrific tournament. When I look at the players that would be among Canada's top 3, O'Reilly would be one.
Draisaitl wins it back to Appleshauser. Plays it back in the corner. Reimer throws it right on goal, and Calvin Pickard makes the stop. Pickard, the first Canadian goaltender to make starts in back-to-back games in this tournament. They'd alternated Pickard and Chad Johnson up to this point.
5th start for Pickard on the tournament. Came in and given up 6 goals rather on 88 shots. Faced 13 today.
And Drew wins that faceoff cleanly back to Parayko. Round to Vlasic. Moving in is Scheifele.
Scheifele kept this play alive with his hustle. That's one thing the last 3 games that I've really liked about Canada is their work rate has gone way up.
Appleshauser. Big pass for Reimer. And the play offside at the Canadian line.
Here's Mark Scheifele, who had a beautiful assist in his first shift of the tournament and then went quiet. Had a real tough time in the preliminary round, scored on the power play to make it 1-0, got an assist as he poked the puck free to Michael Matheson. Matheson shot jammed in by Jeff Skinner, and the Winnipeg Jets star has a couple of points tonight in a 2-0 lead.
Now Duchesne racing to it. Matt Duchesne picks it free. That poke check there by Ehrhoff. Hager brings it ahead now for Germany. Past the midway point of the period. Hager a long shot. Pickard makes the stop. Hager digs it free. And somehow Pickard comes across to take that away. And then after the play, Hager is spilled. And Alex Killorn is going to go off.
Pickard doesn't handle this shot cleanly, and that keeps the play alive. And the end result is Alex Killorn's going to go to the penalty box here.
And you mentioned that Hager is often a stone in the shoe of his opponent.
There he is now barking away with Michael Matheson, but Killorn's going to go to the penalty box. Pickard lets this puck fall out. He can't find it, and when he goes to get it, it's still loose for a second. No penalty yet. And then at the tail end here, not a great penalty for Alex Killorn to take.
And right away, the referee, Daniel Stricker, whistled it. By the way, for the officials selected to work the medal round of this World Championship, that's a big accomplishment because it looks as though only international officials will work the Olympics in Pyeongchang. So Germany back on the power play. Ehrhoff plays it across for Draisaitl. Rink wide pass to Reimer. In, shoots, that was blocked by Parayko. And backhanded out by O'Reilly. Braden Point moves that down to the German zone.
And Parayko has made a huge impact since his arrival to the Team Canada roster.
Draisaitl works it back across for Masek. That's poke checked away by Duchesne and back down the ice. Ehrhoff. Up for Reimer to Draisaitl. And here's Ehrhoff with it. Flips it across to Elise. Now Demers hacks at it. Reimer feeds that back at the point for Ehrhoff. Christian Ehrhoff moves it across to Draisaitl. Under a minute remaining in this power play, Draisaitl hooks it back to Ehrhoff. Winds and shoots. That was blocked in front by DeHaan. Draisaitl down to Masek. A centering pass blocked by Demers, where Reimer had to tap in. Now the centering pass gets by Reimer and back down to center ice. Reimer winds in, shoots, and Pickard knocks that away. Draisaitl brings it around, 30 seconds to go in the power play. Hager back out there. Puck picked up by Couturier. Here comes Couturier on the breakaway. Sean Couturier in, fired it wide. Couturier got spun around and is slow to get to his feet. That was the end of a monstrously long penalty-killing shift for Couturier. Now Point steals it. Couturier loose in foot, trying to hook it back across.
Oh,
on the goal line, he hit the post. And now we got too many men called against Germany, I believe.
John Couturier beat this puck up into small pieces. He's so tired, he couldn't handle the puck. He made a terrific play, good position to steal the puck and get a breakaway. He misses the net. You say it's the end of his shift. Oh no, it's not, Gord. The puck comes right back to him. And as he beats it up, the puck bounces off a German skate. Goes back, hits the goalpost behind Philip Grubauer. Here's the breakaway first. Couturier fires it wide of the net. Now look at him, he can't find it. Oh, it hits this skate, it's off Ehrhoff, it's off the post, and then Germany gets too many men on the ice. So Canada will have almost a full power play. A minute 55 starts now.
McKinnon picks it up, and Parayko walks in, fires. Grubauer kicks that out as Kaloran steps back on for Canada.
52 minutes, 1 second.
Lead pass there for Fauser. He falls, and Parayko plays it in the corner to McKinnon. Now stolen back by the Germans, a chance shorthanded. Walking in, blocked it with a shot, knocked away by Pickard. Marner drops it back to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly moves around Mueller, drops it back to Marner. Takes a return pass from McKinnon, drops it back. Lee works in, shoots. That was blocked by Dennis Seidenberg. And on the line, held by Lee. Lee to Marner. Mitch Marner back to Chris Lee. Feeds it across to McKinnon. Back he goes to Lee, across to Marner. Takes that puck, walks in, shoots, just missed far side. 7 to go here in the third period. Marner works in, trying to feed that rink wide, tipped away by Plachta. Marner. Pass goes off a leg. And now a lead pass finds Yannick Seidenberg. Into the breakaway, Seidenberg scores! And Germany's back in it.
This is an amazing play by Christian Ehrhoff behind the net. The puck's gonna go behind the net. He's got his head up and he snaps it onto Yannick Seidenberg. Seidenberg sells it deep. Oh man, he had Calvin Pickard fighting hard on the forehand. And he goes around him and slides it basically into the middle of the net. And Germany on a short-handed goal with 6.5 left. Somehow is in this game outshot 45-18, and it's 2-1.
Yannick Seidenberg, the former Medicine Hat Tiger, plays for Munich in the German league. The younger brother of Dennis Seidenberg has his country back in it. Remember, Germany tied their game against Latvia late in the third period to send that game to overtime in a shootout just to get to the medal round.
Well, this is one and out hockey. You get a goalie like Grubauer who's playing out of his mind tonight. You get a crazy goal like this, an unexpected goal from Seidenberg, and now you've got a chance. You don't have to be the best team. You've got to be good enough to be in the game and then get a couple of breaks. Maybe Germany can make this uneasy down the stretch.
Now Jeff Skinner picks it up, plays it back for Giroux. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Giroux back to Lee. Lee in for Giroux. Works it in, drops it back to Lee with a hard shot that's tipped wide. And Tipples serving the penalty, steps back on the ice. Lee takes the return pass, feeds it across. Giroux a hard shot, Grubauer swats that away. Now Giroux goes off on a change as Simmons buys some time. Wayne Simmons had that pass go off the skate of King and goes back to pick it up. In comes Simmons, drops it back. Shane works in, backhands it towards the goal. Grubauer the save, and he pounces on the loose puck. Yannick Seidenberg gives Germany life, down 2-1 with 5.5 to go in the third. What a scene here in Cologne. Fans on their feet. 5.5 to go, down the goal to Canada. A team they've only beaten once at the World Championship. That was back in 1996.
Pretty quiet for a long portion of time now. Yannick Seidenberg's goal has jolted it up alive again.
Prior to winning the back-to-back gold medals, Canada had lost 5 consecutive quarterfinal games at the World Championship. Here's Couturier, Killorn, and Duchesne, the forward line for Canada. Draisaitl will take the draw for Germany. Scramble draw. Duchesne poked that back, but Appelshauser pokes it out for Germany. Lead pass now for Couturier. Sean Couturier for Alice Killorn. In comes Killorn with it now. Drops it back for Vlasic. Plays it in deep to Couturier. And you think about the post that Couturier hit a moment ago. Banks it back for Vlasic, right on the line, down to Duchesne. Matt Duchesne walks out, sends it back in front, tipped wide by Killorn. And Draisaitl spins it across. Hordler banks out ahead. Dealers chips that down, didn't reach it, and icing called against the German.
Christian Ehrhoff makes this pass right up the middle of the ice to catch Seidenberg. And this is a heck of a deep as Seidenberg scores.
We welcome those of you who are watching the Sweden-Switzerland game. Yannick Seidenberg scored shorthanded a couple moments ago to get Germany back in the game here, down 2-1. So we know it'll be Sweden and Finland in one semifinal on Saturday. Russia awaits the winner of this game. Ryan O'Reilly digs that free for Wayne Simmons. Canada's outshot Germany badly, 47-18. Simmons. Germans had one shot in the second period right at the end of it. Demers. Long shot that floats high and wide. And now Simmons on it. Knocked down to Hahn. Spins it back in deep and finds O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly works it back. Drops it back. Demers a shot. Grubauer the save and no rebound for Wayne Simmons.
Demers a pretty good chance there. And O'Reilly again with the pass, and no traffic, but Grubauer has to fight it off. That's the 48th Canadian shot.
And a face-off in the German zone with 4:22 remaining.
I mean, there's nothing to dislike about Canada's game today. They've had the puck, they've had chances, they've had more than enough chances. They've run into a goaltender that is red hot in Philip Grubauer.
Rink-wide pass to Dennis Seidenberg. The veteran of so much international competition sends that down, but play called at the Canadian line.
Germany's looking for a way to get one or two really good chances in the last 4 minutes of this game. See if they can find a way to dig to the equalizer. There we are, 4 minutes left, and John Cooper's line that he's had together the whole tournament. Those kids are out on the ice here. Marner connecting.
Oh, connecting, taken down hard there by Moritz Mueller. And now Hager with it. Looks ahead for Schutz. That was knocked down by DeHaan, but Schutz in behind him. Josh Morrissey snaps that pass ahead to Marner, chips it down. Grubauer way out the play, it missed the puck. Marner forced that free for point, back to Marner. Marner flattened there by Seidenberg. Hager plays it across for Plachta. Schutz flying the zone again. Demers got to stick on that. Long pass ahead to Konechny, backhands that down and goes off on a change. Scheifele comes out, along with McKinnon and Skinner, who has the second goal for Canada. In comes Masek, drops it back. Scheifele backhands it out, and a race for it now. Masek goes back and knocks it away from an on-rushing Mark Scheifele. Here's Ehrhoff. Christian Ehrhoff banks out ahead. Puck is knocked down by Scheifele. Up for McKinnon. Still loses it center ice, and McKinnon swats that down to the German zone. Ehrhoff. Long lead pass, gloved down by Parayko. Up ahead for McKinnon, out of his reach. And back comes Yannick Seidenberg along, shoot it. Pickard gloves that, pokes it across for Vlasic. Vlasic, long lead pass for McKinnon, who chips that down to the German zone. He'll go off on a change. Ehrhoff picks it up, trying to catch Canada on the change. Ehrhoff works in, drops it back to Seidenberg. Picked off by Couturier. Couturier banks it ahead. He's got Duchesne. In with Killorn. Not Duchesne. For Killorn. Loses it, but shoots, and Grubauer makes the stop. And Philip Grubauer with a game saver there for Germany.
Christian Ehrhoff gets caught. He is dead tired. He can't get back. Excellent effort by Leon Draisaitl, coming all the way back in the middle of the ice to bother Killorn. Killorn can't get this up over the right pad of Grubauer. You see Grubauer, 47 stops tonight.
Face off, won by Draisaitl. There leads, long lead pass for Reimer. Keep trying that stretch play, and Vlasic knocked it down. Vlasic pokes it in for Killorn. Killorn trying to knock it free. It bounces back to Germany. Backhand shot by Reimer goes wide. Here's Reimer back with it. Grubauer asking for instructions from the bench with 2 to go here in the third period. Dennis Seidenberg trying to hold the line. Killorn takes it away. Backhands out ahead. And now knocked out by Parayko. Duchesne tied up with Draisaitl. Draisaitl spilled. Now it's picked up by Killorn. In with Duchesne. Killorn works in. Sweeps it around Mueller. Drops it back for Duchesne. Moves out to the side of the goal. And again, Schutz leaves the zone, but that time Giroux stepped in front of the pass. Claude Giroux works it free. Sends it back in deep with 90 seconds to go in the third period. O'Reilly digs it free. There's Giroux back on it to O'Reilly. And these two keeping the puck exactly where Canada wants it, 200 feet from their own net. Back at the point is Demers. Swings it across for DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan lays it back in deep for O'Reilly. Germans can't get possession. Never mind getting it down to the Canadian zone. DeHaan flips that in. Hager knocked it down at the line. Held by DeHaan. Swings it across for Simmons. He drops it back for Giroux. In shoots. That's tipped wide. Canada changing D. DeHaan fires that wide. Canada just holding the puck here in the German zone. Giroux plays it in deep for Simmons.
Outstanding shift by this line. You cannot draw this up any better.
Simmons plays it back for Parayko. change completed now as the Couturier line comes on. Braden Point comes out with him. Couturier sent flying. The puck loose behind the goal. Point digging for it. On the back of the net, finally picked up by Hager. Point steps into him. Hager can't clear it. Point has it back. And finally the puck leaves the zone. A minute and a half later, brought right back in by Couturier. Walks in and shoots, and the save is made by Grubauer.
That's a minute and 20 seconds that Canada had the puck under control, forechecking deep in Germany's zone. Marco Sturm and Jeff Ward can't get fresh players on the ice. They can't get control of the puck to start to attack. And now they'll have a timeout. Hopefully for them, a face-off win, and then what attack can they have? You can bet that they're going to fly somebody out of the zone. Canada will likely have Parayko and Vlasic as their defense pair. To try and protect the 2-1 lead.
Earlier today, Finland beat the United States 2-0. Russia beat the Czechs 3-0. Sweden defeated Switzerland 3-1. And here it's 2-1 Canada on Germany. Canada has 50 shots on goal. And the face-off will be in the German zone.
There's Brayden Point. John Cooper knows him very well from Tampa. Point on the ice with Couturier and O'Reilly, Parayko and Vlasic.
So really 3 natural centers on the ice for Canada.
But he uses Couturier and Point and O'Reilly as his trusted penalty killers as well.
O'Reilly wins the draw back to Couturier, throws that back in the corner. Ehrhoff has a look. 3 forwards out at center ice, a long shoot in. Pickard steers that away. Vlasic high off the glass and up to center ice. Time winding down here in the third. Dennis Seidenberg plays that around. Vlasic waiting for it on his backhand. Marc-Edouard Vlasic. And the puck dies in the corner. Canada wins it by a final score of 2-1. Canada will take on the Russians in the semifinals on Saturday. But Canada taken to the limit by a German team that was outshot badly but took advantage of a chance in the third period to make it close.
I think Germany gave all they could here. They're not anywhere near as talented as Canada, and you can't fault Canada either because this game is close. Canada played an almost perfect hockey game. 50 shots, as you say, Gord. They controlled this from start to finish. Got nervous moments after Yannick Seidenberg scored shorthanded, but Canada rolls on to the semifinals.
Germany gets to the quarters on home ice. It took a dramatic shootout win against Latvia to do it. They scored the tying goal with 33 seconds left in the third. Marco Stern's team acquits itself well on home ice at the World Championship. And time now for the Player of the Game presentations.
The best player of Team Germany, der beste Spieler des Teams Deutschlands. Die Nummer 30, number 30,
I don't think this was much of a vote. What a performance by Grubauer.
We'll also get the top 3 German players of the tournament prior to the national anthem.
The best player of Team Canada, der beste Spieler des Teams Kanada. Number 55, die 55, Mark Scheifele.
2 assists for Mark Scheifele. Or rather, a goal and assist for Mark Scheifele, pardon me. And he's Canada's Player of the Game. And now we should get Germany's top 3 players of the tournament.
The award of the 3 best players of each team of the tournament will be presented by Krušovice, official sponsor of the 2017 IIHF World Championship. Meine Damen und Herren, nun werden die Preise für die 3 besten Spieler einer Mannschaft bei diesem Turnier vergeben. Diese Preise werden präsentiert von Krušovice, offiziellen Sponsor dieser Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft. The three best players are selected by each team and will be presented by. Die drei besten Spieler wurden von den Mannschaften selbst ausgewählt und die Preise werden nun übergeben von dem Präsidenten des Deutschen Eishockeybundes, the President of the German Ice Hockey Federation, Franz Reine. The three best players of Team Germany are die drei besten Spieler des Teams Deutschland sind die Nummer 10, Number 10, Christian Ehrhoff.
Ehrhoff, the captain.
24, Number 24, Dennis Seidenberg.
Dennis Seidenberg.
29, Number 29, Leon Draisaitl.
And Leon Draisaitl, who came late. That's a popular choice for the hometown fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Canada. Und nun, meine Damen und Herren, bitte erheben Sie sich für die kanadische Nationalhymne.
So Claude, did it feel a little like deja vu? I know against Switzerland up 2-0 going into the third period there. Why did you know that this time was going to be different?
We were playing a good game. They had one breakaway and they were able to capitalize on it, but we stayed calm after that, and I think that the guys did a good job in the third.
I don't want to get you in trouble, so I'll say it for you. A couple iffy calls there called against Canada. How big of a boost it is to see your penalty killers go out and shut them down?
Yeah, I mean, rules are a little different here. Maybe I should have read the rule book a little before, but that stuff's going to happen. I think the bench did a good job of staying calm.
I said I'd be the one to get in trouble, so don't worry. What was more exhausting, playing in that game or being one of these fans cheering for 3+ hours?
It's awesome. They were going pretty hard, and when you play that kind of game, you don't really see that in the NHL when they chant. And but you know what? It was a good experience, and it was fun to be a part of that.
Last but not least, before I let you go, Russia's next up in the semis. Those one always have a little extra mustard to them, don't they?
No, they have a good team. You know, they offensively they're very dangerous. We know that, so we're going to have to bring our best game.
Thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I really wanted to ask that question. I would think it's the fans that's more exhausting. They were quiet for about 10 minutes there, in the beginning of the third. So we'll go to presser, and we'll be out here as soon as we can.
We're good. We know how long.
I'm a little shiny, man. What are you going to do?
Well, playing a charged-up German team on home ice, Canada played a terrific game that took a long time to break open.
Really did, but this is the third game in a row where I think Canada's really started to play the way that they would like to have played earlier in the tournament. It's a long tournament, and it takes a while, I think, at times to engage yourself both physically and mentally, and Canada's got it rolling now. They were outstanding today. I know the game was really close. The final score looks really close. But start to finish, Canada had the puck. They controlled the puck. They didn't make many mistakes with it. They didn't really have to defend because they defended the most perfect way of possible. Possible.
There you go.
I'm going to do that again.
Okay.
That was interesting. Of possible. And they make the garbage.
Go make the grass. Playing a charged-up, emotional German team on home ice. Canada took a while to break it open, but dominated most of this game.
I don't know that Canada could have played much better than they did here against Germany. This is the third game in a row where I've really liked their game, where they've started to control the puck, control the tempo of the game. And oftentimes you think you're going to break it open and it's going to end up 5 or 6-1. It just never happened tonight because Philipp Grubauer was absolutely brilliant in the German goal. But they played defense the way that you would love to play defense, and that's with the puck. They had the puck down low. They controlled the puck. And a great example of that was when Germany was trying to pull the goalie, to get their goalie out. The line of O'Reilly and Giroux and Simmons had the puck in the offensive zone, cycling it in one corner for well over a minute. It was a terrific hockey game played by Canada.
And then when Germany did have chances on the power play, a couple of Canadian penalty killers stepped up.
Their penalty killing was awesome because they didn't help themselves, Canada. At times they took a couple of silly penalties. The Killorn roughing penalty really had nothing to do with the play and put themselves back in a spot where the game was still close. But up front, Sean Couturier was a beast killing penalties. He was excellent on the draw. He had a shorthanded breakaway. He had another chance on that same sequence, but he had 3 or 4 times where he blocked passes going across side to side on the slot and cleared it down the ice. Mark-Edward Vlasic has done this for his whole career. He kills penalties with his speed, with his stick positioning, with his mobility, and we saw examples of it start to finish. It was a textbook game defensively, offensively. Sure, they would have liked a little more finish, but Canada moves on well-deservedly to the semis.
Canada's now won 26 of its last 28 games at the World Championship, with a drive for 3 consecutive gold medals still alive.
Thank you.